Hello, my carnies. Welcome back to the circus. Apologies for the long wait, and I'm still in the middle of unpacking after moving. Let's talk about VTubers for a moment. They're an entertainment phenomenon, each with their unique designs and personalities. When I say VTuber, you might think of creators like Iron Mouse or Henya, or even lesser known ones like Hoshi. I myself am a fan of counting confetti for
Awooga! I've got a bad case of clussy fever, and I want to make Whoopi with her cushions.
Order, Mr. Edgeworth! Order!
I order Miss Tornado to put her whole butt, and nothing but her butt on my
obvious reasons. But regardless, if you've been on the internet during the past few years, you probably know about VTubers. Most of them are good, and some of them have been detestable for various reasons. The subject of this breakdown, one RubyVoxx, falls under the latter category, for reasons I'll explain. So with this intro out of the way, let's begin this deep dive on RubyVoxx.
地獄からの使者、スパイダーマン
Now then, a bit of a crash course on our subject. RubyVoxx, originally known as Ruby Sea Witch, started off as a creator on YouTube making ASMR roleplays and audios. And yes, she also made spicy ones that you can find. At some point, she started to stream as a VTuber, later changing her name to RubyVoxx. She really stopped making audios to focus on her VTubing career, but recently started making NSFW audios under the handle RubyStrix. Getting back to the VTubing stuff, when she started streaming, she'd often recite two golden rules she had when it came to being a member of her audience. 1. Don't make people feel like shit for the things they like. And 2. Being an asshole isn't cool. So why'd I bring these up? Well, because she actively breaks these rules. Yep, she's the kind of person who follows the mantra, rules for thee, not for me, to a T. And what better example to show this than one of the biggest Twitter events that transpired in the beginning of this year. That's right, I'm talking about the Hogwarts Legacy drama and boycott.
My eyes still burn from the memories.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and vilify people for wanting to boycott or support this game. Whatever your personal stance is on the matter, I won't hold it against you. Hell, you shouldn't go after anyone for their stance on this, period. What I am going to do is point out stupidly bad arguments and explain why those arguments are wrong. Not just in this case, as you'll soon see. But for now, let's start with a tweet that began it all.
Just a friendly PS so that the artists who work on the games are paid for their work regardless of how well a game sells. You are not supporting them, you're supporting the IP owners. Anyway, people are more important than games. Grow up.
So, full disclosure, I had to screenshot this from Discord a long time ago. You'll see why in a minute, but already we have a problem. This is a leap of logic fallacy. Yes, people involved in the creation of a game are paid beforehand, but only if they agree to take on the work and actually put some work in, because these funds come from investors who would really like to see a return on their investment. Secondly, even in an event where royalties are a factor, a portion of profits from sales are still provided to the people who work on the game. So yes, you're supporting them, as well as the entity receiving royalties. A user by the name of Burning Speed also had a similar sentiment, as you can see here. Pause to read if you wish, or check the description to a link for all my screenshots. I numbered them in the way that they appear, and separate them by section to make it easier to follow. Now then, I think we can safely say that her first rule was already broken. So how does she break the second rule? Well, Burning's reply is how that ball got rolling down the lane, because she responds as such.
This is a sad take to see from you, Burning. Work for a better fucking company that isn't owned by a turf. Get a different job. Leave the company for a different one after you get paid. They still get paid for the job. Funds run out for the studio. It doesn't happen overnight.
Huh. That's weird. She's speaking to him as if she knows him. Well, there's a reason for that. Burning Speed was actually a member of her audience prior to this interaction. How do I know this? Well, I suppose this was going to come up eventually. You see, he is my biological brother.
I am your brother!
So, as you can see, I have a bit of a personal take in all of this. Returning to the screenshot here, her argument of find another place to work is dumb. Like, if you're homeless, buy a house levels of dumb. Why? Because there's no shortage of game devs in this industry. Hell, whenever a game studio is closed or downsized, it's considered a major blow to those employees because the search for work is tremendously difficult for them. The closure of Telltale Games is a prime example of that.
Now, perhaps the most detailed account of these rapidly escalating few hours comes from Emily Grace, ex-narrative designer from Telltale, who took to Twitter to explain in detail the disarray that ex-employees have found themselves in. On top of all that, 150 people lost their jobs after the closure of Capcom Vancouver, and 50 people lost their jobs from the closure of Carbine Studios. Again, all in September alone. That's about 450 people who are out there looking for jobs now.
But because of one person, everyone involved in the project should either look for another job or suffer the same fate, huh? How humanitarian of you. Also, where's the what if? All he said was that you are supporting the devs by buying the game. Where's the what if? As you can see, my brother responds again, not using the argument I gave, but he is his own person. I will kind of criticize him and say that you're also giving financial support to rallying in this instance, but that's about it. Like I said, I'm not going to argue for or against the game, just tear down the stupid arguments as I see them. It's around this time that I throw my hat in the ring with my own take comparing Hogwarts Legacy and Blizzard, the team behind Overwatch and Overwatch 2. Why did I do this? Because I remember seeing my brother watching a stream of hers where she was playing Overwatch. My point was, if she was going to be vocal about this game for transphobia, why not also apply that same voice to a game made by a studio that is now known for sexual harassment, hiring a union-busting law firm, and, as of right now, transphobia due to using trans representation as a tool to distract from everything I've just said.
You don't respect trans women because you're transphobic. I don't respect them because they're women. Trans inclusive radical misogyny. There's a better way to.
Gets my point aged like wine, huh? Ruby blocked me for this, but one of her audience members, Jesse Cook, did actually respond to me. Now, I had a hard time trying to understand his point when he responded. I am autistic and it does often take me a while to fully understand something. I understand now as he's basically saying that people didn't know about the stuff before buying the game, and creators who made a livelihood on a game would find it hard to jump ship to another. To the first point, I have to call bullshit. If it was just Overwatch 1, maybe I'd buy that argument. But Overwatch 2 exists. That game launched in October of 2022. The Blizzard investigations began in July of the same year. People bought that game? Where was the boycott for that, As for the second point, I can summarize my response to that with 2 words. In any case, my brother responds, saying to separate art from the artist, and tells them to stop telling people what they can or cannot buy with their money. Ruby responds in 2 different parts, but because my brother said he didn't understand Jesse's reply, she adds this bit.
Also, I didn't have any trouble understanding the tweet. Maybe your inability to understand is the real problem here.
And with that, my carnies, we've done it! We found where Ruby had broken her second rule and has acted as an asshole. Give her a round of applause for shattering both of her golden rules so meticulously in just one thread. This was the tipping point for my brother, who decided to finally cut ties with Ruby, calling her a scumbag. And yes, Pepperana, when you insult someone's ability to understand something, you are a scumbag. You're also a scumbag for white knighting for Ruby like this. But I'm sure we'll see you again. Anyway, I promised you all the reason why I had to screenshot this first tweet in Discord rather than on Twitter. Well, that's because she deleted that tweet.
Pussy!
And posted this one.
I'm deleting my tweet because people are flipping out and using it for something it was never meant to be. I won't be commenting further. If you don't actually know me, you can't comment on my integrity. And if you do know me, you should know better already.
Yes, we can comment on your integrity. Your actions speak very loudly right now. And since this was shortly after my brother cut her off, it's up in the air whether or not multiple people were disagreeing with her, or if she flipped out because a now ex-fan called her a scumbag and is exaggerating to cope. So, I've shown you all that RubyVoxx is an asshole. That means we're done, right? No. She's not just an asshole, you see. She's also a bloody hypocrite. Shortly after the meltdown that was her involvement in the Hogwarts Legacy drama, she began posting these fake as fuck tweets, such as,
I promise to never be a fair weather friend. I promise to listen to my friends when they say something is hurting or bothering them. I promise not to compromise my integrity or my friendships when things are hard.
and
If you let people treat your friends like shit for views or because you don't want to seem like you're picking sides, people see that you're just hurting your friends.
yeah, so being an asshole to my brother Burning was not you being a fair weather friend or treating him like shit for views? Fucking thought. But he's not the only one that she dropped like a rock. According to my brother, she used to play VR chat with another streamer who often used a lolly model. And it wasn't a one-time thing. She played with her multiple times. Then suddenly, she just never mentioned her or played with her ever again. Why is this? Well, according to her following page, she's mutuals with Ghoul Mommy, a very vocal auntie, or someone who opposes the very idea of lolicon. Okay, so, post-edit red here. I feel like I should give a bit more of a proper reasoning behind why I and a few other members of the lolly community recognize Ghoul Mommy as the auntie she is. I mean, if you go through her tweets, you won't find anything carrying the sentiments of an anti-lolicon rhetoric. At least not anymore. You see, she did call out Melia the Maid, a lolicon VTuber, for a lolly smash or pass post. You won't find this tweet anymore, because she got so much flack for it. Of course, she has some people supporting it, but she was shown to not only follow Gura, a lolly VTuber, but also several artists who draw lolly and Shota, as well as mother-daughter incest. And her only defense is, well, they're talented artists, but I don't like the post that I don't like. As if that makes any lick of sense. If you don't like them, why are you following their creators if they're known for it? In a later post that was calling out Melia for a few other things, who shows up? Ghoul Mommy, of course! And Melia calls her out on her bullshit again. And this is the only remaining evidence that Ghoul Mommy had ever denounced Lolicon. She claims she only blocked her, but judging from the deleted tweet, yeah, it was definitely more than just a block. With that out of the way, let's get back to the show. Ruby also became a vocal auntie. Now, whether you like it, you don't, or you're indifferent to it, there's one phrase that every auntie hates to hear. Your likes are public. Now, this isn't from RubyVoxx's account, but her RubyStrix account, which she did not block me on. I found it after looking through Ghoul Mommy's likes, and yeah, they're both in the same boat, but we're focusing on Ruby. So let's start with probably one of the most well-known and loved lollies in recent anime, Rebecca from Cyberpunk.
Oh, David, my man, what's going on? Everything good?
She's an adult, but she is classified as a lolly. Hell, even CD Projekt Red called her a lolly, stating, "The lolly must stay."
Because what happened was that CD Projekt Red first got the character design for Rebecca, and they were like, she's a loli. Lolis don't exist in Night City. It doesn't fit the Cyberpunk 2077 aesthetic. But Sugar was like, no, the loli must stay. And, ultimately, she's the best girl. So it was the right choice.
But I didn't know she was a lolly. Fine, okay. Well, what about Bucci the Rock? For those who aren't in the know, a common anti-point is that lolicon is literal CP, or that lollies are all underage. Bucci the Rock is canonically between the ages of 16 and 17. Now, with the censor bar provided, it is hard to tell, but there are some booba in there. So maybe she thought they were an adult because of the booba. Fine, okay. But she's got nothing to excuse this. And Takamaki, a high schooler, one at the age of 16 no less. Here, there is nothing to imply she is aged up. She looks just as she does in the game. So, Ruby is liking art of a fictional high school girl getting railed. So, yeah, major hypocrisy there. She's also a hypocrite in her own streams, getting mad at her chat for making lewd jokes and whatnot.
You're all fucking banned. I'm gonna have a lone stream, a solo stream, a stream of just me, myself, and no chat. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. To the Witch is creepy. What? No! This is a wholesome game for wholesome people to have a wholesome time.
When 1, she is an NSFW VA, and 2, she makes lewd jokes and comments all the time in her streams. Hell, in one stream while talking about coffee, she made a pegging joke. Like, for fuck's sake, she's made the rules for thee, not for thee thing into a personal Gregorian chant for herself. So, Ruby is a hypocrite and an asshole. Case closed, right? Nope. There's one more point of contention we need to discuss. Her inability to take criticism. You see, she did a cover of a song that she posted to her VTuber channel on YouTube. Apparently she practiced a lot for it and considered it a dream project. She must have been very proud of it, right? Well...
If a creator isn't asking for critique, do not give it. Just don't. I worked so hard on my cover for over a year, and I wanted to delete it because people keep commenting that it doesn't sound professional enough or that it wasn't good enough. It's making me hate it, honestly. It was literally a dream project, something I've wanted my entire life. I tried to learn how to master vocals because I didn't know anyone in my price range who could. I spent 6 months just trying over and over again, going through over 15 loops and re-recording 3 times. This really hurt so much.
Jesus Christ, woman! Maury Calliope was given more shit than you, and she's never been as much of a crybaby as you are here! Going through the thread, among the people metaphorically sucking her dick, was at least one person saying that this was because of troll comments. Why Ruby lumps this in with all critiques is lost on me. But you know what else is lost? The troll comments! I cannot, for the life of me, find any of these troll critiques in the comments of either the song or the trailer on her old audio channel. The only comment I could find is this one, which is a general critique. But maybe it's still too spicy for her. She did say not to provide these without consent after all. So, what happened to the comments? I think the easy answer is the correct one. She nuked them!
Ah, now this question is definitely worth my time and consideration. Deleted!
But if she had the foresight to get rid of troll comments, why the hell is she whining about it on Twitter? Hell, if she wasn't looking for criticism at all, why were the comments open to begin with? I'll tell you why. Because she wasn't looking to be criticized, but to be validated.
Just like a typical woman.
Now, I don't have to tell you that approval isn't needed to critique anything, but I apparently have to tell her that. Someone else decided to tell her such, and more. Explain the exact purpose of critiques. And they do so in such a respectful manner, too. They even say to keep on keeping on and wish her luck. I'd be happy to receive a comment like this. They were respectful and spoke their piece. Was Ruby happy? If her track record is anything to go by...
This kind of statement is not helpful and perpetuates the social norms that essentially say get over it, and I don't stand for that. As a professional in the art industry with 2 degrees in creative fields, I can tell you that it shouldn't be treated so cavalier. All I said was, if I don't ask for your crit, don't give it, and that should be respected. There's no need for you to say, well, you're always gonna get it. Or does that help? When you see it wrong, stand against it instead of falling. It's no one's place to crit when no one asks. And in the art industry, in any creative field, you would be told the same. Just because people do something doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean you should just get over it. It should be acknowledged that it's wrong even if doing so makes you uncomfortable.
Oh! You have degrees? I'd get a refund on them if any of your professors told you to have this kind of an attitude towards critique. Especially when it comes to something like the first time doing a cover of a song. Fuck off with that bullshit. An engineer has a degree, but they don't use that as justification for providing a client with a subpar design that could be greatly improved. Your degrees mean shit to me.
You keep talking down to me and I really don't appreciate it. I'm trying to educate you and tell you that saying that isn't actually helpful. It's hurtful, dismissive, and invalidating. And you call me silly like I'm a child who doesn't know what they're talking about. Well,
my god, this bitch is thick. He isn't wrong in any capacity, and yet you're so inept at accepting that you're wrong, you're continuing to attack him. You are educating no one. You're just fighting him because you want sympathy. And oh look, you said invalidating. Freudian slip, anyone? Oh, and would you look who's back? Ruby's favorite white knight. In fact, she's so loyal to Ruby, she appears twice in the same thread. In fact, this may be another reason why Ruby can't accept criticism. Her hug box. A bunch of people respond to this guy, and not a single one of them is charitable. They all dogpile on him, telling him how unhelpful he is, or how he made a bad take. Hell, this one straight up tells Ruby not to listen to him. Typical huckbox behavior there. But that's not my favorite response to him. Nope. This one is.
Can't take the heat. Stay out of the kitchen is an absolutely advisable thing to say to someone. It may not have been your intention to tell them to stop trying if they can't handle it, but that is absolutely how it is going to come across. I trained professionally with music. I'm a vocalist and an instrumentalist. Criticism comes from a place of goodwill. Between peers who genuinely want to offer advice, it also comes privately. Not that this person should be subject to private DMs either, but my point is these kinds of comments are not necessary nor are they helpful. It shouldn't matter if they sound professional or not, especially in the event that this was their first ever recording, or their second, or their third. Who is going to fault someone for that? I recently recorded my own little Christmas song cover, and if anyone came to me with the language used, I would tear them apart just the same. Be better and stop excusing bad behavior just because you think it's fine.
Yeah, no. Critiques are never private. If that was the case, there wouldn't be so many channels on YouTube dedicated to criticizing almost every aspect of media. And while you're right about critiques generally coming from a place of goodwill, what does that have to do with an initial post? Ruby didn't say she was upset at critiques from a place of bad will. She was whining that she received unwanted critiques. And I already blasted that bullshit. Luckily, it doesn't seem like our friend here took anything personally. But can you imagine being dogpiled like that by someone's hugbox? Scumbag behavior. Now, as we wrap up our show, I want to reiterate the disclaimer from the beginning. Do not go out and harass these people because they were assholes. In fact, I encourage you to never give them any attention at all. Let them stagnate. In any case, thank you all for watching, and remember, this circus is always in town.